What's up, YouTube? Do you want to learn how to do predictive market reactions like I do every morning in the stock market? Stay tuned. This is what we're going to get into every day here on the channel. We'll catch NQ downside after open VWAP range targets filling up in price. Here's the VWAP range targets posted way down at 495.40, 495.50. This was way before QQQ in the pre-market, calling it before it happened, right? Then a little bit of a realized P&L as we put in. Obviously, the target was hit. Retweeting it and take a peek at my members. They were killing it today. Happy for them. Absolutely monstrous for the Discord. Let's get into it. So the QQQ. We had an algo set up today in the pre-market. So we have a 5-minute high-low algo. The algos come from these long wick, small bodies right here. And what I like to do with those is I use a Fibonacci high-low point. So tag that fib, high, low. We create a fib box, then we play off the extensions. And I said there'd be a pop today, over under at 497.84, 5. Comes up to the 1618, and after hitting that 1618, we do have an opportunity to come back down to the zero line, golden pocket, confirm, stuck in the box right here on the fib top, right? And then back down to our final target of the day, 495.68. But before then, we created a trade call way before for the QQQs. And I got those off of anchor VWAPs like so. So I called that. Qs would come down to these anchors way at pre-market open for everybody on the X. Give us a follow if you want. Links are in the description. We have the lower high set up here in that 5-minute, and I got those anchors over here. I'm not going to tell you exactly why I drew them right there, but that's where they came from. So to target this lower high dump out of the gate that we knew was going to happen here, or at least at a high conviction rate, we utilized anchor VWAPs, and we utilized the pre-market algo that we had seen on QQQ right here. So let's get into some of the trade plans that we had past this. So after that 1618, we said it was going to dump out of the gate. Let's take a peek at what's happening on our oscillation indicators first in the pre-market. So on the 5-minute chart, we're going to notice right now that the RSI was stuck in the bottom of the channel, held up very little outside during the pre-market. MACD, very similar, full cross, and the MACD was looking weak all the way into 7 a.m. Central, 7:30. Puts in a little bit of a buy retrace wave, but that was only for resistance that we had called on the 1618, and we had an opportunity for confirmation. So if you look at other videos on here, I am very big on a confirmation trading, right? So we dumped out of the gate and fell into the fib box, okay? So 1618 is usually our first general target after a fib box blows out. There's a very strong chance of this one coming back down because we have no golden pocket tags, right? A golden pocket is the center value of a high-low fib. So between the 100% and the 0%, the Fibonacci gives you the 61.8 to 38.20, and then the 50 is inside that. I call this entire thing the golden pocket. Now, after something breaks into the fib box from a 1618, notice when this candle was developed, the entire pre-market, we don't have any data in the pre-market backtesting that golden pocket. That is insanely huge for a directional pick after hitting a 1618 rejection that we will fall back in and hit the golden pocket, which we did. Now, what's our confirmation here? Well, the confirmation would be the fib box, the top, right? We broke back into the box, retraced off the golden pocket, found resistance in the box, came back down for the lower low, and we almost filled target, which we're always out early here, and that would have been it. Let's look at the other confirmations that guaranteed, right? And I don't use that word a lot in the market, but we had guaranteed setups today. We call them in chat on our live trading, which we do every single morning on Zoom for our members. And that was when we pushed into the fib box and went lower. Look at this. RSI, perfect trap, oversold. I said we need a reset. Don't bother shorting. It resets, comes up to the 50, comes back down, right? A little higher low on RSI, but not in price action. And then same thing with the MACD. Look at this right here, large sell wave. And I said, as long as the buy wave is smaller, we have continuation metrics to go down. Obviously, the confirmation was perfectly placed with that fib box top, which we see right here, along with the small buy wave on the MAC and the 50 redirect on the RSI. You can't get much extra confirmation besides that. That is a very solid setup, right? SPY, on the other hand, it gave us some really good valuable information as well. Now, the SPY not as susceptible to the pullback this morning as Qs, because Qs was in a much better setup place. But let's look at some of the values here on SPY. Same thing on the confirmation, right? We had a dip right here into that oversold pre, came down to the 200 SMA, popped, lower high in pre-market action, right? So again, we're looking for that short. Comes out of the gate down, dings into the live tag, no longer pre-market, right? Not pre, of the 200 SMA, which is our peach dash line here. 10 SMA daily, which is this big blue dash line. That's right. We have the 10 SMA from the daily chart coded inside our 5-minute chart here. So that comes down, grabs minute support, pops up. And this is where my trade call was for the rest of my chat right here. And I said, stay short till we come down to the anchor VWAPs on SPY, because we never hit them today yet. So we still have more downside susceptible. And I'll bring up the chart in a second for the SPY. But look at this trade setup. The high of the day push was perfect, lower high from pre, comes down, hits temporary support, up, lower high is the RSI, huge lower high in the MAC, small buy wave exactly like we've seen on the QQQ, so I shorted the lower high right here, rode that baby down, and then of course we had continuation to almost the 666, a little bit of a shy tech there. But regardless, everything was set up perfectly in the MACD, the RSI, and the price action. So when we seen this lower high setting up, a lot of people are looking for a little bit back test. Could have went up a little bit here, a little bit of a cup of handle pattern, but I stayed short, stayed true. Can't think of another way. And why is that? The same indicator I just talked about on QQQ, we use on SPY. Now, if I'm going back and forth a lot, it's because I trade ES off the SPY ETF and I trade NQ off the QQQ ETF, right? It's the only way to do it. It doesn't matter if you want to utilize one or the other, but always trade the futures off of QQQ and SPY, especially when they're open. Now, for these anchors, again, I put those anchors on yesterday's price action. The calculation moves through to the current day, and we have a magnet, right? The price action pushes up, lower high, and it drags the price action down to these anchors that need tags. Does this work every single day? Of course not. We look for confirmations in the oscillation indicators. Now, one of the biggest indicators, and I'll give you a little takeaway from what we did on our Discord, was NQ's gap up, okay? And I posted this on X as well, so if you want to give us a follow over there, Garage Trader 33, go ahead and do that. But this gap and go, I said was an easy one last night on the NQ, and we'll go over this last little example for why it was. So it had this big push up, and leaving a gap like this on that first open is highly susceptible to a gap and go, right? So what do you do with this opening candle that is such a hardcore candle to the upside? I go to a longer standing time frame because it's after hours and we have lower volume. So I'm going to use a 15 like I did, and this is the setup that I gave everybody here. High-low Fibonacci on that 15. Same exact protocol practice for the Fibonacci's. Let's go over it. So we have our high-low Fib box because we love Fibonacci so much on the 15. Holds above the 1. And again, low volume, so follow-through is very limited. Comes through, bounces at 20,611, almost hits the 1618, shies it, bounces, bounces, boom. We're finally into the 1618. Now we can start looking to the short side. The 1618 from that 15-minute candle was tagged. RSI, lower high, lower low setup. MACD telling you that we're getting some beautiful selling on that 15-minute chart. Crosses, small buy waves that are junking around. And our over-under becomes exactly the same as QQQ, the 100 fib on the Algo candle high-low. So 20,611 I called was an over-under. And most likely we're going to pop back up. So 8:30 a.m. Central opens up, hits that 1618, boom, into the golden pocket, and this is our first tag. And this is another huge metric I use in my trading every single second of the day. Notice the price action on this 15 box back here, right? Notice how there is no price action on the golden pocket between 20,578, 20,558. So when that price action broke down inside the range, this is not a hit, that shied it, inside that golden pocket range, hits the golden pocket, it bounces back, finds 20,611, and down she goes, filling up the fib box on the target short. Now we have a little bit more to go on QQQ Algo, but again, the NQ would have reigned supreme here, which we did trade. So we had a couple monster days, all because of simple Fibonacci, simple first tag targeting. And because of that simple first tag targeting, it really got us out of not chasing shorts. Because when this came down, I said, nah, just go long. We're going to come back up. reset the trade, and come back down. And a reset is pretty obvious what it does, the opposite of what it's doing right now, right? So if you see the MACD on a hard cut, which we've seen very early back down here, which means susceptible to short, your stop out has to be fresh highs. So this high right here, 20,676.50 is your high. As the indicators down here are giving you short signal rolls, yeah, of course it's going to pop a divergence. It's got to stop any of the chasers out that for whatever reason chase this short down, blew you out. Stop out again, fresh highs way up here, comes up to the lower high, dumps down, and finds our Fibonacci target of 20,525. It's so clean. We had an amazing day today on all of our live trades. And again, if you want to join us at Boiler Room Trading, links in the description. We do this every single morning live. Follow the X for some free calls here every once in a while. We have some great long-term members, long-standing traders here. And they're all very talented, and they all join us in chat every day. If you want to support the channel a different way, check links in the description. We trade with Apex Trading Funded Program along with our big live accounts. So Apex is a fantastic way to get your limited risk dollars and put them